So, we just went through the D'Angelo Wallace, Shane Dawson video, and it was absolutely intense. So, these are all ones that have been re-uploaded because D'Angelo has actually made the decision to delete these videos. Now, a big reason for that... Oh my goodness, Love Cassie, thank you so much for gifting a sub! Love Cassie, thank you so much! One of the main reasons for D'Angelo deleting these videos was apparently because everything was coming out about James Charles, and people were looking at, you know, these videos by D'Angelo as a way of kind of sympathizing with James Charles or making James Charles look, you know, better than what he really should have. And so I think that was the reason, but I also kind of speculate that it was that, you know, these 3 videos, because there's one on Tati Westbrook as well, really became a staple of what D'Angelo was known for. I mean, he gained, you know, oh my god, so many subscribers from this topic, and I think maybe he just didn't want that to be his YouTube bit anymore. So we're gonna get to this one. So this one is the Jeffree Star one, and it is Jeffree Star faked everything about, well, everything. Now, I just love D'Angelo Wallace, but I also just love these titles, and thank you to YouTube Re-Uploaded for uploading this again and allowing us to watch it. Now, from my memory, it's been so long since I've watched any of these videos. Well, I watched the Shane one, you know, just now. It's been so long since I watched this. I'm pretty sure the main points that D'Angelo brings up, chat, you can let me know if I'm wrong or right, is that Jeffree allegedly lied about the robbery. Wasn't it about that? It was about, like, the robbery. The robbery to do with the concealers or something like that, like the C1 concealers or something. But anyway, let's get to it. I appreciate everyone being here. I appreciate everyone that's watching back on YouTube. If you want to join the live streams, we're doing them every day on Twitch. Go pinned comment, description, and go over and follow. And yeah, let's get into it. So, let's go, bitches.
5,000 people on Twitter. Now, this doesn't totally...
Wait.
I've been blocked by over 5,000 people on Twitter. Now, this doesn't totally surprise me, because if I had to see me every day and not be me, I would probably block me too. But I do have to say, I'm kind of shocked, kind of proud, that one of those 5,000 people happens to be none other than Jeffree Star. Yeah.
Does Jeffree still have me blocked? Jeffree Star, Twitter. Does he still have me blocked? Well... and Jeffree Star Instagram. Well, has me blocked there too. Damn, he really got me. D'Angelo, we're one and the same.
Where do we begin with this guy, man?
We have a lot of emotional tea to dive into.
My fans are totally hating on someone like Jeffree Star.
Jeffree Star autobiography, it needs to come soon.
Oh, and if my body's fat.
So he's been saying that his autobiography has been coming for the longest time. Oh my god. Blair White, as controversial and awful as she can be, is one gorgeous person, right?
Found dead in a ditch somewhere. It's Jeffree Star.
Hi, and welcome back to me talking about whatever I want. Today I want to talk about Jeffree Star. If you've been on Twitter, YouTube, or the mainstream media, you may have noticed that there's kind of a lot going on with the 3 least necessary YouTubers of all time. Shane Dawson, Tati Westbrook, and Jeffree Star. 3 people I never want to hear about ever again. So I have decided to make one video about each one of them. And this video is about Jeffree Star. Now, a lot of Jeffree Star supporters get angry when you bring up his dark past full of racism, bad wigs, and literal clown makeup. They claim that he's changed and he's grown as a person.
Oh my god, that first photo was such a, like, really just getting to the point, right?
I mean, his makeup still looks like a Snapchat filter in bad lighting, and you can literally see the tracks in his wig, so what exactly changed? The racism? Not likely. But I actually think his stands are onto something. We get so distracted by Jeffree Star's past that we fail to look at the absolute buffoonery that he's pulling in the present. So in this video, we're going to do exactly...
I always think this is such a good point to bring up, especially to, like, these fandoms where they're like, you focus on the negativity of the past. Okay, babe, we can focus on the negativity of the present. If you want to.
That. After a lot of research, a ton of editing, and one too many Jeffree Star videos, that's a joke, even one is too many, allow me to present not an exploration of Jeffree Star's past.
I loved this. Like, this made me so happy the way he had, like, done this in, like, a timeline. It just, like, there was something in it to me that just made me, like, smile. Smile. Beam, if you will. I was beaming, actually.
Actions, but a comprehensive timeline of Jeffree Star in the present, in which we're going to see that this man managed to fake everything about basically everything. But first, let's talk about me. I'm proud to announce that my 2-month break is over. I mentioned this in my last VPN. With a VPN, show musicians to be popular on MySpace about 10 years ago for being a legitimately awful person. I'm not even exaggerating, by the way. His entire persona was that he was not good. He was only popular because he was stereotyping himself in the most demeaning way possible. If there's
like I've said, Jeffree Star became popular because he became the line of what homophobic people felt that they could, like, appreciate. So Jeffree Star was an openly gay man with openly homophobic actions and openly like the way that those people live. So people supporting him were like, we can't be homophobic because Jeffree Star is gay. Jeffree Star appeased that community, so he was like a safe line for them, when in actuality he was just going against his own community, which is why they all hate him now. And I've always said, what was the quote I always said? Like, Jeffree Star is a homophobic person's favorite kind of gay person, or something like that. Something like that.
One thing bigots love more than degrading you, it's when you degrade yourself for their amusement. So he turned that fame into a brief music career, but I'm gonna be honest here. I feel like me even acknowledging that Jeffree Star songs exist is disrespectful to actual musicians. Yeah.
I can't admit, though, that, what's that? I am a beauty killer. And, the one with Nicki Minaj, like, oh god. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, did Lana Del Rey post a music video? 5 days ago. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me figure out if I can play this. Wait, hold on. Let me get the music video. Where's the music video? Where's the music video? Thank you for following, by the way. Hold on.
Circumstance. Now it's time to undress. Put your drinks up if you don't give a fuck. Everything goes 'cause we don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck.
Wait. Wait. Oh wait, I just realized that if it plays, I'll get banned. So, but you get the point based on what this says. I just realized it. Thank God I caught that. Thank God I caught that. Thank God I got that. My Twitch gone tomorrow. I caught it though.
No. So anyway, once his music career inevitably died, he launched a makeup company called Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And once MySpace died, he joined the perfect place for anybody with little to no talent and even fewer people skills. YouTube.com.
Valid.
My home sweet home. And so that past history that I just gave a brief synopsis of is what brings us to the beginning of our timeline that we're going to go through in this video. 2017. It's now 2017 and Jeffree Star Cosmetics is worth millions of dollars. He has millions of subscribers and he decided to start his redemption arc to become a less awful person in the future by apologizing for how he was in the past. Except he didn't. He literally didn't apologize for being racist. See, these are just a few of the clips that people wanted an answer for.
Oh god. Oh, we're just jumping right in. We're just jumping right in.
Diamond rims and you win by being more Mexican.
Shut up, you fucking nigga. You stupid ape. I'm gonna spray you. You beat that nigga. You're a nigga. Ugly ass bitch.
Trust me when I say, as bad as those are, there are far worse ones, and plenty of them. So Jeffree uploaded this video on June 20th.
Isn't it crazy that we're all so scared about, like, YouTube's, like, terms of service and policies and stuff like this when these were the videos that, like, made YouTube? Isn't that so crazy? Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. Where I'm like, oh, YouTube won't want me saying shit. And then I'm like, this is the content that was, like, building YouTube. You know when people were like, ooh, let me check out this new social media if I want to join it. Those were the videos that were on the homepage. Mama.
It's 2017, titled simply Racism. It's 15 minutes long.
This thumbnail, bitch. Racism. Are you kidding me? Like, it's like almost comical. Racism. What? The romanticization about apology videos. Racism. It's like crazy. Yeah, in all capitals and a full stop, by the way. And then the title and thumbnail is so calm. And it was the doing what's right one. Doing what's right. And he's talking about, like, his racism in that video, too. Like, what?
It has no ads and no comments. I'm just gonna be honest.
Great.
Disabling comments on an apology video is weak. The fact that someone is unwilling to hear any input on their apology, even from the people that they're supposedly apologizing to, sounds hella remorseful to me. But I will say, he does say the words, "I'm sorry." It's just, he doesn't say, "I'm sorry for being racist." He says, "I'm sorry for the words I said." Now, in most cases, I would just chalk that up to bad wording. See, listen.
So I want to let you guys know that I am so sorry for ever
I'm so sorry. It just even sounds fake, right? I'm just so sorry that I would even say those things. I can't even believe myself. It, like, just...
in those things, that does not represent anything how I feel.
Thank
That
you.
is not who I am. And I apologize deep down to the core of my being.
Like, in watching a lot of, like, Jeffree Star, like, he does not talk like this. So who's this? To my being, like... Who's this? Who is this?
He was so condescending in that video.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for my words. I'm so sorry for everything that I've said in my past. I can never turn back time.
Thank you,
and
Hannah.
take those moments away.
But the issue is, it's not bad wording. Jeffree Star just literally isn't even admitting to being racist.
Valid,
His
Andrew.
own apology titled racism.
I think that
Racism.
racism is
Oh, I
a
just poked
very
myself.
serious subject, especially in today's world. I'm embarrassed as a person because that is not what I've ever stood for. The intent behind my words back then, it was not about race. Racism does not live inside of me. I don't even know what the fuck. Like, I don't know how that exists into people.
Talking about
What? How in an apology video for being a racist are you like, I can't even believe that people would be racist? Well, that's a first. For in your apology video for something, you're literally being like, I can't believe that anybody would act like this. In your apology video for said thing, by the way.
dropping the hard R and claiming that it's not about race, I have to give him points for originality. Jeffree Star was really setting the blueprint for this kind of thing in 2017. And seeing as this is his only available apology, I, for one, am kind of tired of his stance saying he apologized when A, he clearly didn't. You can watch the entire video for yourself. And B, all he really did was contribute to the normalization of racial slurs by claiming that they're not, in fact, related to race. And now that's what all his followers will tell you when you call him out. So imagine how tired we are of it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but being in a dark place and then lashing out from that dark place by being racist means that you're racist. When I'm in a dark place, I just watch Netflix, listen to sad music, go to sleep, do all
Yeah, I mean, that full, like, oh, I lashed out, and that's just not me. I mean, it's what Shane said as well. Like, it's just so tired and stupid.
all three at the same time. And this is not just me. Somehow I feel like most people manage to avoid recording themselves shouting racial epithets at people.
Or
And
just
then
saying it, not even recording it.
And the fact that we let people like Jeffree Star normalize that behavior by behavior like this.
Andrew earlier was like, Jeffree's one of the few people that sets off my, like, fight or flight. When people say that, like, wasn't me, or that was, like, a different version of me, that sets off my fight or flight. That's what sets it off for me.
In this 2017 video.
And I was in a dark place.
Tragic. But there is one thing that Jeffree is sorry to see. He actually spends more time in his apology video addressing how unhappy it makes him that people bring up his past at all than he does addressing actual racism.
A lot of stuff in my past constantly gets dragged up. It's been happening for years. My past has been recorded, it's been videoed, it has been exploited all over the internet. I see the
Exploited over the internet? That's what you built your career off of. What do you mean by that? Racism. What do you mean by that?
surface, and it just makes me sick to my stomach. It really makes me sick to my stomach to watch those
Okay, so victimizing himself in this apology video is crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Old videos, and every time that they get re-dragged up, it just makes me just sad because I don't know who that person was. I'm so sorry that any of you ever had to see me like that. It makes me want to just, I don't know, it makes me want to erase myself sometimes. I don't want you to see an old video of me and be like, wow, Jeffree says this, but he's really about this.
That's why his stands get so defensive when you mention his past, because Jeffree makes it seem like he's the one most affected by it. You know, not the people who have had to go their entire life having this kind of stuff spewed at them. Victimizing yourself in your apology video. A YouTube classic. I'm serious, Jeffree Star was a professional. He also mentioned repeatedly that these clips are from 12 years ago. He would really like you to know that these clips are from 12 years ago.
It concerns old videos that were filmed of me 12 years ago. And those videos were 12 years ago. Let's go back to 12 years ago.
And you know what? A lot of these clips are actually from 12 years ago. But the issue with that is, it's 2020. They're from 12 years ago today. He made this apology video in 2017. So normally I wouldn't come after someone for not remembering a date because I'm going to be fully honest, I barely remember my own birthday most of the time. But you can literally see that the most popular clips he was referring to have a 2008 copyright date on them, meaning they were less than a decade old when he was apologizing for them. He can't admit...
It's just so, like, to, like, with your full balls deep lying in your apology video is crazy. Is crazy. Like, oh, the clips are 12 years ago. What clips?
Admit that the problem took place. He can't admit when the problem took place. The only thing that Jeffree Star promises to change in his I Changed video is to stop clapping back at people online.
I don't...
Which didn't happen either. Like, that didn't happen either.
...want to deal with anger and rage and drama anymore. I just feel like...
I've only realized that he has eyebrows in this video. They're drawn on, but he has them. Sorry, this is not the point, but, like, I was wondering there was something off about this.
It's just so...
Not the blatant lying, but the eyebrows, apparently.
...unhealthy and it eats away at you. It's just wrong. And I don't want to continue that behavior. I should be setting an example. Fighting with people online and all this bullshit is so...
Spoiler, he will continue to do it.
It's something that I'm going to completely stop. I'm not going to
That's a lie.
anymore. I'm not going to feed...
That's not me saying, oh, I don't think he's got to do that. No, this was in 2017. Like, he still does this.
...the fire of hate with hate. I just think it has to stop.
Let's see how well that worked out for him. Anyway, that was 2017. It was the beginning of a beautiful change for Jeffree Star, in which he changed absolutely nothing about himself, but nobody could point it out because the comments were disabled.
I think that 2018 was one of the most insane years of the beauty community. I think we learned a big lesson.
And the eyebrows are gone. So we're less serious now. We're goofy now. We're silly now. We're in the silly mood. The eyebrows are gone.
Don't come for Jeffree Star, because you'll end your career.
So,
don't come for Jeffree Star because you'll ruin your career. Oh, babe, if only he knew.
2018 was the year that Jeffree Star stepped into the larger public consciousness as a new and improved Jeff. Gone were the days of, nothing really. Again, like I said, he didn't change. He just told us all that he changed. In retrospect, he didn't change for the better. He claimed to be better and everyone believed him for some reason. And that reason was named Shane Dawson.
I think one of the most life-changing things that happened to me this year was...
the first PR documentary with Shane. We've already reviewed this one on my channel. We know this one well. The one that has James featured in it. That one. The one where they visit Jeffree's old apartment. The one where they just cry on camera. We know this one well.
A series with Shane Dawson.
This, of course, was the beginning of the worst timeline. The worst man on YouTube decides to start a collaboration documentary series with the other worst man on YouTube. All you need to know for context is that I have mixed feelings about Shane Dawson for a number of reasons, none of which we will be discussing in this video. So Shane Dawson made a 5-part documentary series called The Secret World of Jeffree Star. But the issue with this
starring Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, Andrew Sawicki, Nathan, Rylan Adams, Garrett Watts.
Dawson series is the same issue with everything involving Shane Dawson, and that issue is Shane Dawson. The man is simply not good at making docuseries. His documentaries document nothing. They're just extended vlogs with an indie film soundtrack and an unholy runtime. And they're designed to make the subject look as good as humanly possible. No objectivity, no educational value, no tripod. These just aren't Dr.
Not
Who
no
videos.
tripod.
They're really, really long PR videos. See, the 2018 Jeffree Star series wasn't just for fun. It was a calculated move to shift Jeffree Star into that same wholesome, positive space that Shane Dawson had.
Isn't it so funny now to like look back on it and be like, wow, at one stage Shane Dawson was like a really like wholesome person.
His way into years earlier. See, before this series, Jeffree was a PR nightmare. His terrible history with literally everything wasn't very good for other people's brand.
No.
And when celebrities decided to take a risk and work with him anyway, this is what happened to them, even the biggest ones.
Guys, like, and I see you being so...
Oh my god, this Kim Kardashian where she's like, guys, stop being mean to this Jeffree Star person. And then she got so much criticism, and the next day she was like, okay guys, I take it all back, send him all the hate. It's okay.
petty, bringing up things in his past where he, you know, was, you know, negative, but he's also apologized.
Kim talking about Jeffree being racist, where he was, you know, negative.
I see you being so petty, bringing up things in his past where he, you know, was, you know, negative, but he's also apologized for those things. And I get it's a serious deal if you say like racial things, but I do believe in people changing and people that apologize.
Sorry, I mean, it's just so crazy she's doing this while she's getting like her tits contoured, right? Oh yeah, oh my god, Kaylee saying the same thing, yeah.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
2 hours later.
Hey guys, so I really wanted to apologize to you guys and my fans for defending a situation yesterday that I really didn't know enough about.
So Shane and Jeffree's genius idea.
Well, it wasn't 2 hours later. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was like, it actually was like a few hours later. It was a few hours later. That is so funny. That is camp.
To present his racism in the most sympathetic way possible, in the best possible light. Again, notice how he still doesn't admit to being racist, even at that time, but instead he just hyper-focuses on one clip and gives context for that one.
And this is from 13 now. This is 13.
God. Shane looks so different. God, please, if you're listening, please don't make me age like the typical white man. Please, I'm literally begging. I'm begging. Please, have mercy. Have mercy.
15 years ago, I think. I was 19, and we are on the streets of Miami on the boardwalk, and there is a bunch of chicks screaming, "You fat freak," at me.
The woman in question. It was me and the muckers shouting it at him.
So I turn around and I say some really vicious stuff back. If you go and find the footage, the people I'm screaming at
I hope
are
aren't.
Caucasian. Yeah, what I said was racist. Yeah. But I wasn't saying it to a person of color. I was saying a horrible, offensive word to cut back at someone calling me something awful. So it's not about race, it's not about any of that. It was just about being an offensive, attention-seeking, angry person.
Maybe if we zoom into his face close enough and make people feel sorry for him, then people will almost forget it's racism. Of course, this sob story did succeed in changing the tide of public opinion in Jeffree's favor anyway, because people would rather believe that someone is just misunderstood than that someone's bigoted. So yeah, Shane Dawson's PR stunt worked. Millions of people saw the new brand safe Jeffree, the new Jeffree that Jeffree invented and is cosplaying as, while still being the old Jeffree. And as we're going to see later into this video, the old Jeffree is a compulsive liar.
I've been lying to all of you. And the woman that I have been posting for the last 5 years...
Oh my god! His fake mother! How did I forget about this? How did I forget about his fake mom? Oh, that was camp. That was camp.
Mother.
Now, I want to make something very clear. As you can tell, I have plenty of criticism for Jeffree Star. But when it comes to decisions that people make about their family, I'm never gonna judge. You honestly never know what somebody's life is like outside of the small window that they tell you about on YouTube. And even though Jeffree's window is kind of, stained, his family stuff that he doesn't choose to put forward publicly on the internet is all up to him. So when I learned that he hadn't spoken to his mother in years and years, Honestly, I felt bad for him and I respected his decision. But then when I learned that he had a different family member playing his mom the entire time, and he was pretending that that was his birth mother, it all started to feel a bit weird. Now, I'm not really exposing or sharing new stuff at this point. I'm just including...
This is just so, like, why would you do this?
To prove a point. See, in 2018, Jeffree actually came forward with this information himself, right after the Shane series.
The imagery that pops up when you Google my mother is a lie.
Sorry, it's just so dramatic. Oh my god, you got an ad for anti-aging cream? Send me the link. Send me the link. If you get some Botox links as well, send me those links.
The name that pops up when you Google my mom...
Why does he talk like this? As if it's going to change the story. Because, let me tell you something. It really doesn't. It just pisses me off. Because it comes across, well, as fake. See?
And pictures of us, all of it is a lie. It's been a lie
It's
this
a
whole
lie.
time. And it started out as like a cute white lie. And I'm sure all of you are wondering, who is this woman? Her name is Lori, and she is my actual aunt.
Now,
Her name is Laura Lee. And she's not my mother. My real mother, her name is Taddy Westbrook. That is the secret.
now, again, being closer to your aunt than your mom is a family thing. Everyone's family's different. Ultimately, I'm just glad he had someone there for him. But parading your aunt around on social media as your mom? That's some next level stuff. The reason I'm including
just
this point
unnecessary.
is not to say, he shouldn't have done this or he's a bad person for how he dealt with his mother. It's just more so like, you can't really trust anything about this person. He may have his reasons sometimes. He may not have any valid reasons at all most of the time. But Jeffree Star just kind of lies.
There's no need for
All
him
of
to do
the
that.
time.
Now we are one of the top 10 brands in America. Like, what the 2019 has been a blessing.
Mama, this wig is so awful. Like, this is one of the most unflattering wigs I've ever seen Jeffree Star in. Like, it's like Frenemies jump scare.
So, 2019 was shaping up to be a great year for Jeffree Star. For better or for worse, he managed to
Not
outrun
Willy
his
Wonka.
reputation. Thanks to Shane and his new direction, he now had an even more massive audience than before. And all of these new people were just as emotionally invested. And they had their wallets ready. It seemed like 2019 was going to be a great year, but like all record highs, it was followed by a new low.
Jeffree got in contact with the FBI, watching for any trace of the story.
Oh, the robbery. So this was the main thing to come from this video.
$1 million worth of his cosmetics, $2.5 million in cosmetics stolen from Jeffree Star.
Now, I would like to include a preface for this part. Unlike the other points in this timeline, this whole robbery section is actually just me speculating. Behold, Jeffree Star Cosmetics' alleged $2.5 million robbery that made national news last year. Now, this isn't me saying that it didn't happen, but it's just me sharing my opinion.
That's my opinion! Who knows that meme?
Didn't happen. Here's why I believe that it's completely possible that Jeffree Star faked this entire $2.5 million robbery for promo for his new line of concealer products. So,
I believe it. I believe it.
the first source that Jeffree Star was robbed was Jeffree Star himself. They came in through the roof, and he claims that there's footage, but then he doesn't show anything.
And Jeffree never really responded to this video directly. He was just like, people, like haters out there saying that I'm lying about it. Why would I lie?
Footage. Now, again, this could very easily just be because there's an ongoing investigation. Or it could just be because this is literally an advertisement for his concealers.
They hit us really hard. They came in through the roof. It was a very professional job. It was a team of people. And when you watch
He goes, I know, because I was there.
footage of this
It was
stuff,
me.
it is so gut-wrenching. They took thousands of Northern Lights. They took thousands of lip liners. And they took an entire shade of concealer.
Why would I lie? Lies about his mom. Like, why didn't he show any of the footage, I wonder?
Like, I have 30 plus shades in this amazing line. I am so
Yeah. I mean, the way that he literally goes from, I can't believe it's gone, to literally just promoting the stuff, it comes across as incredibly suspicious.
Proud of it. The formula is unreal, and I am so excited for you guys to experience it later this month.
Why would you say this in your deepest, darkest moment?
I didn't plan on talking about it or showing things off today, but hi, things happen.
So according to Jeff, the FBI got involved, tracked down an unnamed individual who was selling that makeup, and then jailed that individual. You following? So this unnamed individual sold this makeup to a random lady who then tried to sell it on Facebook. Now, that Facebook listing is real. That's confirmed. And that random lady was named Tessa Rollison.
Who was his actual mother.
Hired a whole entire investigative team to help me with law enforcement. We are in contact with FBI. The picture that a lot of you saw online was from a girl that stole the original picture. So this person is in jail. The girl that leaked the photo, she is part of the problem.
So basically, a team of highly trained and professional thieves broke into a warehouse through the ceiling, stole millions of dollars worth of makeup, and then sold some to some random girl on Facebook who immediately got them caught. Right after that, that story is nonsensical and way too conveniently lined up.
Plot twist, Shane was the one that stole it. I believe it.
Launch of Jeffree's new
He went, we're filming the conspiracy series, we need something new.
30 Shades, you guys, 30 Shades. It's just so convenient that they managed to steal an entire shade of his new concealer that he...
The people stealing were like, we only want shade C15. Like, what?
Hadn't even launched yet, therefore making his robbery announcement double as the concealer announcement. And then the FBI got involved. Except, guess what the FBI and local law enforcement had to say about it? Nothing. There are no statements or confirmation about this outlandish tale other than Jeffree Star himself. Now, again, my initial thought was...
Would he even legally be allowed to lie about something like that, though? That was always my question in the moment. Danny Miller, thank you. Would he be able to... I mean... I guess... I mean, it's just something really outlandish to lie about, but I mean, so is lying about who your mother is for no reason.
Maybe, you know, the police department just doesn't comment on things like this. But
it was too... I mean, yeah, they would comment, though, on like $2.5 million stealing. What the fuck?
Do it. And the reason so many people believe that Jeffree Star was telling the truth without being shown any evidence or confirmation from other sources was because there actually had been a string of makeup-related heists that occurred before Jeffree Star announced this. One of the most notable ones was an ABH makeup warehouse getting robbed. But when you look at how they got robbed, magically, it's the exact same as Jeffree Star's story. But the article says the LAPD said that subjects sawed through the roof. So despite this being the same story by presumably the same people, notice how law enforcement actually made a statement in ABH's case where it was confirmed, but magically didn't answer reporters when asked for a statement about Jeffree.
Like, why didn't they even respond to me like, no, Jeffree's not lying about this? Or yes, Jeffree is lying about this. Wow. The fact that a robbery happened so soon before it, the exact same way that what happened to Jeffree. Jesus.
ABH, an LAPD spokesperson, shared more information. And in Jeffree's case, there was no spokesperson, no police records, no evidence of any kind. Just the pictures of empty boxes that Jeffree Star released and a few Facebook listings. The issue with that is anybody can make a Facebook listing if you have a picture of the product, and Jeffree Star himself admitted that people were using pictures of the product that they didn't even own. This means these listings don't even confirm that people actually had the makeup. Here's a statement from that Tessa Rollison lady explaining that she...
Is this his mother or no?
...the makeup, but moreover, that the FBI didn't actually contact her.
In the moment, it was like, wow, I can just get these concealers and have access to them. Like, this would be great.
Rollison says she never had possession of any of the stolen makeup, but she did break her own rule when she did not get receipts or other proof that the goods were legit. Rollison says the FBI has not contacted her.
How did she get it so quickly? You know what I mean? So they stole it and then the next day, fuck me, it's on the doorstep of the customers? Was ist das? No.
So the FBI is on the case, but they don't even bother to contact the lady who's confirmed to have purchased this makeup from the person that they arrested. It was at this point that I realized there's just no evidence for this robbery at all. Like, none that I was personally able to say. Now, again, I will just end this one by saying, I'm still speculating. I'm not saying that without a doubt, this $2.5 million robbery absolutely did not happen and no products were stolen. In fact, I can't really prove that no robbery happened at all. But Jeffree Star can prove that it did happen, and for some reason he hasn't.
Rough.
And then after that,
That's so
the story
true.
just got dropped completely. There was just no follow-up.
Yeah, once the concealer's launched, he never talked about it again. I mean, they talked about it in the Shane documentary, but even then, if you've gotten $2.8 million stolen from you, I mean, they didn't talk about it that much in the Shane series, other than, we've got to start firing people.
A $2.5 million robbery in the news. The only stories you can find about this are the ones reporting that Jeffree said it happened. Basically, he said it was true, nobody questioned it, he generated a ton of buzz for the announcement of his new concealer product, and then everyone just promptly forgot about it. Now, if I see anything in the future that is evidence that this giant multi-million-dollar robbery did in fact occur, then of course, that's what I'll believe. But as of now, seeing as believing this story means believing Jeffree Star of all people at face value with no evidence, when the story itself already doesn't make any sense, yeah, I choose not to. Okay, hey, I'm editing, and this is just a quick note. While I was editing, this is how easy it is to get people to write about you, even when you don't have proof. There is now an MTV Australia article about me claiming that Jeffree Star's robbery was fake on MTV Australia. They're basically going down some of the tweets I outlined with some of the stuff I put in this video. Yeah, guys, it's literally that easy to get people to write about what you're saying. Oh my gosh.
Hi, sisters. How are?
Oh God, are we ready for Bye Sister? The Bye Sister jump scare? Oh! Oh no, I don't know if I'm ready. Hi, sister! Bye, sister! Are we ready?
Yeah. Alright, so today we have James Charles here, and he's
opening my Sour Patch Kids.
You guys have never seen before.
Now, one thing that had been brewing in these past couple of years was a wholesome friendship between Jeffree Star and James Charles, aka not just his new friend, but also his biggest competitor on YouTube. James Charles managed to rise to the same level of fame, and then a bit higher than Jeffree Star.
It makes me so depressed that this screenshot right here is the reason that I started drinking Red Bull. Literally, because I was like, wait, that looks good. With the straw.
A bit higher than Jeffree Star in a much shorter time period. And seeing as he didn't have a past history of all that stuff that Jeffree was doing, it turned out that
well, James did.
He was much more widely loved. So, despite the love that Jeffree showed, it was kind of inevitable that their friendship was going to end with a bang.
Very scary.
Dark thoughts. Yeah, these are like bringing back traumatic experiences.
Yes, honestly. I know. We're having a little bit of PTSD right now. I'm shook.
Jeffree called James a predator. He's a danger to society.
Choked on the jump there. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was not expecting the jump to be that sudden.
There is a reason that Nathan banned James Charles from ever coming over to our home
away
again.
by
There's a
how
reason
everybody just dropped James all the time. Like,
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, you see my eye twitch? I want to watch my playback. You see my eye twitch with the Sour Patch Kid? Oh my god, I just saw it. Sorry, my phone's replaying it at a delay. That was really funny. My eye twitched.
So,
Sire.
the YouTuber Tati Westbrook made a video in which she exaggerated, misrepresented information, and at times flat out lied in order to accuse James Charles of predatory behavior. Like I said, I have a video.
Is that not Mother? Is that or is that not Mother? Well, Mother. I hate to say it, when the devil is slaying,
Video about Tati coming soon, but for now, all you need to know for context is that I have mixed feelings on Tati Westbrook for a number of reasons, none of which we will be discussing in this video. Jeffree, on the other hand, used this bombshell video to insert himself into this drama, Not for no reason, but with a very specific aim to take
Not
down
mother.
James Charles once and for all. He called James not just a predator, but a danger to society, and claims that he banned him from his home. He did this all publicly, and according to James Charles, he privately said even worse things about James. Now, Jeffree told the world that he was going to come forward with receipts that prove that everything Tasha said in her video was correct. Then instead of coming forward with receipts, he came forward with this video.
I do regret sending those tweets.
My God. Now, here's the thing. Jeffree Star was always bitter about James Charles. Because James Charles came into the scene a lot younger, a lot more talented, surprisingly, at makeup at least. Younger. That was the thing that got Jeffree. Younger and more talented and bigger following. And Jeffree was jealous. I mean, the industry is so ageist overall everywhere. And Jeffree definitely felt that by James. And, you know, he had to take him down. Do I think that Shane was also intimidated by James? Yeah, because James was about to surpass Shane in followers or subscribers or something. Then, you know, they came together and they had a little scissor and Rylan watched.
Before fully accusing an individual of doing anything, I need more facts. So moving forward, I want to let you guys know something.
But he said he had the facts. And by the way, right now he's going to be like, I am never going to do this again. I'm never going to get involved in these videos again. Didn't we just watch the racism video where he said he was never going to do it again?
Done. I am done with the tea, with the drama, and I don't want to be involved in anyone's situations anymore.
Sound familiar?
Well, it wasn't the last one.
2017 vibes. Jeffree Star never changes because he never tries to change. Like, the reason he never learns is because he already knows. He already knows exactly what kind of person he is, and that the things he's saying aren't true. This man never shares proof of anything. And yet, somehow, he has us constantly discussing his drama as if it even exists. I have to be honest, that's a bit of a power move.
The sold-out Shane Dawson
Oh my God, we're up to conspiracy now. Conspiracy time.
X Jeffree Star Cosmetics collection, the coveted conspiracy palette.
Now, I'm actually not going to go into too much detail about this one because I already made an entire video about it. Long story short, Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star lied and manipulated their audience using the bi-sister drama in order to sell out their new makeup collection. It was pretty elaborate stuff, but just watch that video if you want the details.
I mean, the main giveaway is that Morphe, which rip, wanted to launch the James Charles palette again for the anniversary on the day that the conspiracy was wanting to be released. So they had to take James down yet again because, you know, James was stealing the thunder. And so bi-sister kind of came into the equation that way on the relevance when you think about the conspiracy series. They needed James to be taken down, or a slice of humble pie.
But I will add this, something I didn't cover in that video. Notice how, now that Shane has done the dirty work of making Jeffree Star seem like a good person via the PR series, he now releases a physical product with him in a collaboration. If he had done that before making that first docu-series on Jeffree, then he would have gotten the same treatment that Kim K did, which is getting shunned for working with a racist. You know, like an understandable reaction. But because he did it after the world believed Jeffree was such a good person, the two of them got universal love and the palette sold.
Wow. It's so crazy to think of how long they were planning on doing, you know, the makeup palette. Because, like what D'Angelo is saying here, they had to make that first documentary so that Jeffree was publicly liked, or at least not publicly controversial. So then it was fine that Shane came together with him, but they would have had to have been thinking before they made that first documentary that for them to work, you know, on something together in the future, they had to do this first step, which is just so crazy that that amount of work went into a documentary about just showing the real Jeffree whenever it was so calculated.
Sold out within, like, minutes. See, these people might be dumb, but they're not dumb. And I, for one, just want to know how much money is in the contract that they made each other sign. And now, we're to the 2020
Thank you, ugly girl.
As you can see, Jeffree started off in a bad position in 2017, but he used the power of persuasion and an airtight PR strategy to become not just the internet's darling, but legitimately one of the richest people on YouTube. And he managed to do it all without doing the one thing that he can't, which is change his behavior. But 2020 is where this story takes a nosedive. Even though I have focused this video on Jeffree's recent actions, like I said I would, some things from his past were about to come back in a big way this year. There's a lesson in here somewhere about how him and his fans trying to force other people to ignore his past wound up not working out, since his past was not just something that happened a long time ago, but rather something that shaped and explained his behavior today. But I digress. Alright, now this one right here is just weird, okay? I don't know how else to explain it. Remember how Jeffree publicly claimed that James Charles was a predator and banned from his home? Well,
oh my god, and then after it, he liked James again. Because the public took James back, so then Jeffree loved James again. I forgot about this. Oh my god, I forgot about this.
Here he is publicly congratulating James months after making those claims. James killed it as per usual. Said, referring to a makeup job.
170k likes. Oh my god, this was 2020, so only a few... March, April, May, June. 3 months later would be when Jeffree was cancelled for like a final time.
And acting as if nothing had happened between them. Honestly, what sense does that make? Now, this on its own is a little weird, but it's much worse when you start to realize this isn't even the first time that Jeffree Star flopped back and forth between calling James Charles a menace and publicly showing support for him. In fact, he even told James that he misses him on Twitter, supposedly after the time when he got banned from his house. I'm gonna insert this picture right here. It's just...
oh my god, whatever happened to Sebastian Williams?
A full-time...
But this is really funny. Doing like back and forth about Jeffree hating James, thank you Leafs, and then loving James, hating him. I always thought it was funny. You know, when the devil does something right, Sebastian Williams.
Line created by the YouTuber Sebastian Williams of every single time Jeffree Star flops back and forth when it comes to James Charles.
This was funny.
Pause it and read, and you'll see just how unhinged he's becoming at this point. You can literally see his lies catching up with him. Alright, so thankfully, this point on the timeline is pretty lighthearted.
Oh my god, whenever he faked getting Nate a car as well, like, there's just so many really weird things that I forgot that he lied about. For, like, no reason.
Included it because while it fits the theme, it's mostly just funny to me, and it's a much needed break before we get to what is, ultimately the darkest part of this video. So basically, Jeffree Star had uploaded a video last year called Surprising My Boyfriend with His Dream Car. In the description, he says that his boyfriend's dream car was an Aston Martin. You know, typical YouTuber stuff. Typical YouTubers who can, like, afford an Aston Martin. So that, in and of itself, not really worth noting. However, Jeffree and his boyfriend went through a public breakup in March of 2020.
Let's go!
Noticed that, Jeff still had the car, almost as if he never actually gave it to his boyfriend in the first place. So when people asked him about that, he went back and changed
the title of the video.
The title to Pretending to Surprise My Boyfriend.
That is so camp. Is that not camp? I have to give Jeffree credit. That was funny. Laris, thank you for being here.
Dream car. And then goes on to explain in this new description that an Aston Martin was actually his dream car. So all this...
so just lying again.
Jeff got 12 million views on what is ultimately just a 15-minute video of him and his boyfriend being horrible actors.
I'm calling Nate right now.
Oh god.
Jeffree's calling me.
Oh god, this is so cringy.
Hey babe. Surprise!
Damn.
Yes. This is so nice.
If it's not
just so cringy.
Here by now, literally nothing this man says is true. Nothing this man does is real. Like, with most people say things and I believe them, and then later I might find out, oh wow, that's not true. With Jeffree, he says things and I just immediately assume it's not true until I find out otherwise. All he does is lie and get caught by his lies. And, you know, while this one is just something as silly and inconsequential as a car, a much bigger, darker lie was about to resurface and face Jeffree.
Oh yeah, this was
got an exclusive interview
awful
with Jeffree Star on Sunday as we continue our investigation.
Chris Hansen.
Dobby vanity case.
In April of this year, Jeffree appeared on a live stream with former TV host and the man behind To Catch a Predator, Chris.
If he lies about small weird things, then he's probably hiding so much. The robbery.
Now, Jeffree wasn't there because he was a predator. He was there to discuss his involvement with the musician Dobby Vanity. The two were very close because they came up together in that same MySpace area of music.
Dobby.
But then things started to get really dark. See, here's Jeffree around 10 years ago calling Dobby out for messing with kids. As
Fuck
you can
Dobby.
see, he specifically said he saw Dobby taking girls into his hotel room 100% illegal. For context, Davi Vanity is in fact guilty of messing with kids. According to the Pinellas County Sheriff Office, he just got away with it because he claimed he didn't know the victim's age and they had trouble moving forward. But then a bunch of other people came forward and said similar things had happened to them, so...
Jesus.
Yikes. So all in all, it's
so
really
basically,
good that Jeffree Star...
Jeffree on record has seen this happen with Davi, and then when pressed about it, just lies. So... Jeffree now has evidence of knowing people that Davi did this to, and then you're going to watch him walk back on it now.
Star called this out and was so vocal about somebody who he had a connection with.
Hi, Millie.
Platform. The issue is, about 1 year later, he took this all back and then congratulated Davi. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Here's Jeffree claiming that he's on good terms with Davi, congratulating him, and then announcing a tour with the man that he saw take girls into his hotel room. 100% illegal. By publicly going back on this information, Jeffree made it extremely difficult for the victims to come forward and be taken seriously, because what was a high-profile witness was now claiming he and Davi were just buddy-buddy. So basically, Jeffree Star either decided to work with an alleged criminal for profit, or he had lied about seeing that alleged criminal in action. And considering...
Andrew, thank you for being here. Rest well. And, Jeffree's been accused himself of this. The Insider article from ages ago was crazy. That's what immediately pops into my head.
Davi Vanity's actual criminal history, I feel like the answer is kind of obvious. So, fast forward 10 years later to Jeffree being asked about this by Chris Hansen. All you need to know for context is that I have mixed feelings about Chris Hansen for a number of reasons, none of which we'll be discussing in this video. But basically, instead of
Chris
questioning
Hansen's
him
the
outright,
worst.
Chris Hansen just let Jeffree make a bunch of excuses and didn't even nail him down.
So can we keep in mind that Jeffree has publicly went on the record saying that he's seen illegal activities happen with Davi? He said that he's seen that.
Contradicting himself.
And then, you know, it was his friend that he just offended.
I don't have anything to report. If I actually saw and witnessed something, he would be rotting in jail this very moment. But I never.
But that's not what happened. Jeffree is supporting someone who he said saw do very illegal things with minors.
Anything besides inappropriate behavior. I never witnessed anything that could be used as evidence. And
but you said you did.
I think I do, and I'm not saying it.
You send out these tweets, and yet in 2012, I believe, correct, you go back out on tour and essentially make public statements that...
Yeah, and a lot of people want
a good guy, and you're supporting him at this point. Well, how do you square that?
Me calling Davi my brother, that's just me being dramatic.
At this point, these lies don't...
So now you're saying that, oh, well, by being brother, it's just like being my friend.
It even makes sense.
Corny.
As they come out of his mouth. But at the exact same time as those lies were blowing up in his face, a much more recent one was about to come back in a big way.
We have the guest, Jeffree Star, on the show. The queen of YouTube.
Oh, hi. In the same month, Jeffree Star went on the popular podcast Mom's Basement, hosted by the YouTuber Keemstar, Face Banks, and...
Mom's Basement. Remember what we talked about at the start of the stream? Mom's Basement. Is that still happening? Is that still a thing? The podcast? Mom's... I don't see Keemstar writing about it. Is this still a thing? The final episode. I mean, 2022, not that long ago.
And Colossal was crazy. On that podcast, they asked Jeff a few tough questions, including whether or not James Charles was really a danger to society. Now remember that at this point in time, Jeffree had already flip-flopped on his opinion
said he loved
on
James
Charles multiple times. But instead of answering their yes or no question, Jeffree Star did something much more extreme and much more serious. He claimed that he had a voice note on his phone that he interpreted as evidence that James Charles was a predator.
One thing, real quick. Is James Charles a danger to society? Is he a predator?
Keem? If you want, we can pause and I can go in another room and play Banks what I have on my phone.
That was one of my main issues with Jeffree as well, where he was like leveraging having, you know, a victim on the phone. He has a victim on the phone. And it's gonna be his like one up, and like he is the T, and it's like, with allegedly like a victim speaking up.
And he can determine if he would have sent the same tweet.
This was now getting real, okay? We went from Jeffree Star making vague claims and refusing to support them to Jeffree Star very deliberately claiming that he has evidence of bad behavior.
Yeah, he did.
First-hand witness testimony that one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform is hurting people. Now, of course, as far as I'm concerned, this evidence isn't evidence of anything because it's coming from Jeffree Star. And on top of that,
blackmail,
nobody
yeah,
has come forward and said, oh yes, this is me, I made that voice memo. But just to so proudly flaunt that you have blackmail material against James Charles on your phone to such a public platform.
I mean, so many times Jeffree would, you know, blackmail about like, oh, like I'll ruin your career, or, you know, people don't talk shit about me. Ironic, you know. I mean, it's such a common thing.
Is absolutely insane. But if that wasn't bad enough, Jeffree Star then proceeded to lie about the Dobby Vanity situation again while he was on the Mom's Basement podcast.
I mean, that's such a misleading tweet, isn't it? That's so misleading.
Which part?
No? We saw Darby bring underage girls to his hotel rooms and do things 100% illegal. Of course, people are going to interpret that as you seeing that with your own eyes.
Oh, of course. So 10 years later, I'm telling people, did I see a crime or anything actual illegal? No. Other people did and told me that at the time. And then
it's just like, it's like getting yourself out of every single situation, right? It's like no credibility, no integrity, like whatever works in the moment, say it and deal with it later.
And it was not proven, but it was convinced by him being a master manipulator and people that I trusted in our circle that said, no, actually, we've never seen anything. I had someone that had 4 children themselves, a grown mother, as his band member say, Jeffree, I've been in his world for years and I've lived on the tour bus and I've never seen anything.
As you can see, at this point...
But Jeffree said that he saw it firsthand, so... Again, do with that what you will.
A lot of people, much like those podcast hosts, who know that Jeffree Star's stories simply do not add up. But even when they confront him directly, he just still lies, almost making it pointless to confront him in the first place. Alright, so this next point is actually...
Which I guess is the point. Like, if Jeffree never gives you anything when you confront him about something, then maybe you'll give up and stop asking him.
The one that I wound up getting blocked over. Not only does it show how aware Jeffree Star is of his behavior, but it also kind of just shows he hasn't even stopped clapping back at people online in the worst way possible like he claimed that he would. Long story short, questionable fashion brand CEO Shadi Lin posted a picture to her Instagram, which many interpreted to be in support of the police who were out against the protesters. She was obviously catching a lot of flack for this online, but Jeffree used this situation as...
I'm dizzy with all the flip-flop. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. It's just like... It's just really hard to imagine, right?
Excuse to slide into her DMs and literally just harass her.
Oh my god, I remember this!
He sent multiple messages in which he called her the C word, said that her store should burn down, and even going so far as to hope that she got shot in the face with a rubber bullet. No matter...
Like, isn't that so crazy to send to someone who is like... That is just... It's so crazy that he said that about someone who was like out protesting. I hope you get shot with a rubber bullet.
No matter what reason you might have, there is just never
just so crazy.
Somebody this way. So that was that. But then I personally saw Jeffree Star tweet out this quote saying, "Shaming someone into action creates acting. Inspiring someone into action creates change." And this was just days after he was not just shaming, but harassing and threatening Shadi Lin into action. So that set me off, and I did reply to that tweet and pointed out what he had done and his hypocrisy in the situation.
So,
and I said that
yeah. So over a Black Lives Matter protest was whenever he was saying that someone deserved to get shot in the head with a rubber bullet and that they're the C word.
The only thing that Jeffree Star inspires me to do is pass away. And then I woke up next morning to find that I, D'Angelo Wallace, had finally been blocked on Twitter by Jeffree Star.
Of course. And of course the cremated palette during the midst of the pandemic, coming out with a palette called Cremated. Nice.
Lying if I said I wasn't proud of myself.
Shout out to Grandma Mary Star.
Oh my god, his fake grandma too! Oh my god! There was a fake grandma too! This was camp, where he was like doing her makeup routine or something like that.
What are you doing, girl?
So, in the midst of all this current drama that
Thank
Jeffree
you,
had going on,
Supernova.
he decided to let us know how unbothered he was by hopping on a plane to fly his grandma out to Montana.
Oh my god, I loved this. Where he like said that she was 100. Thank you, Crystal. Where Jeffree was like, she's 103, but then that was a different age that was in like a YouTube video or something like that. This was one of my favorite things I ever covered with Jeffree.
For her 103rd birthday. According to that Instagram post, she's turning 103, which is of course fantastic. However, there's a few weird things about this, because last year, Jeffree repeatedly claimed that his grandma was in fact 100. So how is she turning 103?
My grandma said
she's speed running life. She's over it. She wants to go. She wants to go home. She's going home. She's speed running it.
I don't want to be in camera. I'm 100. My 100-year-old grandma. My grandma is 100 years old. Like, she is 100.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I personally kind of just dismissed that one because a lot of people do round their age down, especially with numbers as high as like 100. But what does make it weird is that in the description of that video, he specifically says
she hit the 4x speed in The Sims. Yeah, I think she did.
That she turned 100 last year, but now this year she is turning 103. So that's a little weird. When you start looking at that together with the fact that he has gone on record and said her birthday was in June, but then another time said that her birthday was in July, it definitely starts to raise some eyebrows. With all that
surely if you're gonna lie about all this, you should write down like dates and, you know, things like that. Wouldn't that have like solved all of this? Keeping like a track history.
And even if Jeffree's 100% on the up and up about his grandma, and he just somehow manages to get the dates and her age wrong every single year, this is literally still a fake post, because he was not on a
oh my god, yes, the picture
plane flying out to Montana with his grandma.
It was an upload.
He uploaded 6 months before
Miss Independent.
Here it is on Twitter in January, and now he's using it to prove that he's flying somewhere in June. The final was that people saw Jeffree
when he rents like one private jet per year, so he just takes pictures in a bunch of different outfits.
Jeffree Star taking photos with fans in California with no masks, by the way, and not social distancing during a pandemic. So
clearly,
honestly, I could just tell that he was that kind of person. But anyway, let's move on.
You can't silence me. I know you paid to silence people.
Oh my god, the Blair White speaking up about the voice note as well.
You can't silence me.
Blair White's video was Blair White was like tweeting like, I'm gonna die, Jeffree's gonna kill me, all these different things. Like, it was so dramatic. And then her video came out and it was really nothing, except for she said she heard the voice note or something like that.
I'm just not going to be that person.
And now, this journey that we started in 2017 brings us to our final stop, which is actually like last week, June 2020. So in June, well-known YouTuber Blair White came forward with a bombshell video about
boo, Blair.
Jeffree Star, claiming not just that he reached out to her, but that he actually played her the alleged voice note from this alleged victim of James Charles. Presumably the same voice note that Jeffree mentioned and offered to play on the Mama's Basement podcast. Rightfully withholding the source, Blair called this note credible.
He then provided me with receipts of a voice memo from a YouTuber who was allegedly sexually molested by James Charles. And it's credible. It's a YouTuber. It's credible. It is not my place to out this YouTuber's name at all. I reached out to this person.
Okay, so she didn't hear it, but she saw a screenshot of a voice memo. Who's to say that a YouTuber couldn't have sent a voice memo to Jeffree about how their day is going? Jeffree saves it and then goes, look, I got a 5-minute voice memo from this YouTuber. This is what they're talking about. And then they're not. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say that that's not, you know, what it actually was?
Privately, the alleged victim, and offered my support.
Now, this was a really strange move to make on Blair's part because, first of all, that's an extremely bold claim to make without evidence. But what makes it make even less sense is that she spends the entire first part of the video explaining how Jeffree Star lied to her about his involvement in the Dobby Vanity case, and then went on to contradict himself in multiple different places. But then she just decides to publicly assert that the voice note is credible. In addition to that, she even admits in this video that she knows Jeffree Star pays people to say things. So I don't understand why she would present this as if this is some sort of credible
Blair's video was so bad.
Have Jeffree in their ear constantly in their DMs, trying to manipulate them or get them to run with certain stories. He's paying off people for silence. He's paying people to say certain
Her
things.
video was really bad.
What further confused me was that she goes on to reveal that Jeffree shared with her the identity of an alleged criminal on YouTube, who is currently just still on YouTube.
Yeah.
But for some reason, she named James Charles, but she didn't name this person, even though they're both alleged, and she doesn't even have evidence for either one of them.
Jeffree then revealed to me someone else, a very famous YouTuber, who, yeah, I'll use the word raped someone. Did he provide me with receipts of that one? No.
So why is she saying this as well? You know what I mean? Like, it just was so bad. It missed the mark so much.
Do I personally think it's credible? Yes.
Did I see any proof? No. Do I think it's real? Yeah.
And part of the reason why I'm doing this video is to come to you guys and ask, if you guys know this information, what would you do with it?
Personally, I'd much rather know the name of an alleged criminal on YouTube, and not just that Jeffree Star thinks James Charles is a danger to society and he has some magical evidence that he refuses to share publicly. Because I already knew that. Everyone already knows that. That's the story with Jeffree Star and James Charles. Like, this whole basis of Blair's video that Jeffree Star keeps private receipts and he shares them to other influencers. It wasn't even news. I'm not sure why the video was marketed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everyone knew it already.
In fact, it started to get weird when I really thought about the fact that the only new information in Blair's entire video is the fact that she thinks that Jeffree Star's voice note is credible. So basically, even though she trashed him by saying things that people already...
Do we know who she was talking about? Well, I mean, let's not speculate on who we believe, like, a victim is. Or, if you're talking about the P word was... I mean, even speculating on that, it's like just saying names.
About him. All she really did was help him out by confirming that she believes this is a real thing. A lot of people in the comments section pointed out that Blair played right into Jeffree's hands, and honestly, whether or not this was intentional, I can't really say. I mean, Blair has been on record before misrepresenting facts to cover for Jeffree in the Davi Vanity situation. There's a video about that you can watch. I'll put it on screen. It's actually very detailed. So, as far as I'm concerned, she's not credible either. In this situation, there is no victim. It's literally an alleged fact that this person exists or not, because they haven't come forward. Now, I want to make it crystal clear. If/when somebody comes forward and claims that they've had this sort of experience with James Charles, I will believe them and I will listen to what they have to say. But for now, seeing as the only person who holds this evidence
is Jeffree Star.
Jeffree Star. And we just spent this entire video kind of showing that Jeffree Star doesn't tell the truth about anything and will do anything to achieve any goal, which this goal definitely seems to be getting James Charles out of the picture. I'm going to have to be honest. I don't believe there's a victim at this moment in time.
Woo!
And that is the last thing I have in this video.
All right. Okay, let's talk about this one. Let me know your opinions. Okay, let me say mine. So, I think that this video did a perfect job at highlighting how easy it is for Jeffree Star to lie. And I think that's really important when you think about him apologizing for things like racism. Whenever he is so easily able to lie, who's to say that he wouldn't do that in an apology video? Which then changes everything when you think about him working with Shane Dawson as like a redemption arc, change of, character, if you will. How much of that was lying? If you're lying about who your mom is, who your grandma is, buying your boyfriend a car, like, all these different things, it just makes your entire existence and your persona feel like we cannot trust you at any stage. And I think in how much Jeffree really it's not the word I'm looking for, but used victims from the Davi Vanity, from speaking up and then not speaking up, not supporting victims, to the James Charles, where you're seemingly making up victims as a way to, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're weaponizing, SA. I just think, again, this is another creator that just has done too much. So yeah, what's your opinion on the video? There's a lot of people saying it was just lie after lie. I'm talking about D'Angelo. I miss D'Angelo. He was a wonderful storyteller and providing the facts. Yeah, he was great. Well, anyway, I appreciated going through that video. Thank you for allowing me to do that. And yeah, that was the D'Angelo video on Jeffree Star. Dangling evidence over everyone's head is nasty. Yes. Jeffree constantly says he has the receipts, but yet he never says anything himself that his friends have told him. No way we could trust Jeffree. So yeah, that's chat's opinion. Let me know yours down below if you're watching this on YouTube. And yeah, thank you for being here.